begun. Step by step, you're building fire. Higher, higher, aim, inspire. The clock's not your enemy. It's a countdown to destiny. Condition for success, we run this race. No holding back, we're taking our place. Condition for success, this is our time. The world is ours, one mountain to climb. Yeah.
Where is it we really want to go on this stuff in paths of life, in mindsets, in success? Because it seems like we're just going through the motions of, week to week, holiday to holiday, year to year, and not realizing like life's changing. And I saw a video that talked about the gap of wealth that before, you know, in order to be considered rich, you had to be earning like, let's say $100,000 a year. Now, if you've continued to earn that, great. But you're no longer really seen as rich. You're just well off or almost well off, depending upon where you're at. And it just seems like the video basically said to be in the top percent required this much. Now to be in the top percent requires like this much. And so if you stayed at the same income level, you're not in that top rank anymore. And this goes to life though, where whether it's money or fame or success or sports or whatever it is that you are like, oh, I'm the best in my field. Well, yeah, in 2012 you were, but are you still the best in your field today? What have you continually worked on yourself to improve over the past 15 odd year, 15 or so years? And I think that's why personal development is such important because of the fact that it's constant personal development. You are the eternal student, a lifelong lesson. You don't ever stop because people are like, "Oh, when I'm better." It's like, well, hopefully you're better today than you were yesterday, or at the very least, you're better today than you were 6 months ago, and I would hope that you're better in 6 months than you are today. Yeah, and it's just like y it's constant maintenance, and yes, even for those that saw me fixing my hair, it's maintenance. It's like, yes, you gotta fix your hair, you gotta fix your t you gotta, brush your teeth, you gotta wash your face, and, like, it's all you gotta make sure to eat healthy. So there's 3 things that only matter, and it's like, you know, 3 things in life that are vital to matter, right? Of your life, of you, is your health, is like your money, and your mindset. Your is which comes back to health as well, because mental health, but it's just like those 3 things, that's all that matters. And the guy was talking about, like, think rewind 10 years. Are you worried about the same things today as you were 10 years ago? Or, like, the things you worried about 10 years ago, are you worried about today? And for those that are, between the 25 and 34 seems to be like, about 40% of the demographic or whatever it is on my followers is like, well, 10 years ago, you were either in high school or possibly college. And it's like, are you worried about the same stuff today as you were then? Well, 10 years ago being in school, I'd hope you're not worrying the same things today because if you're waking up today worrying about that paper that's due on Friday, it's like, I don't know what your paper you're doing. But maybe you are stressing on certain things with, "Oh, no, but I got a task at work to complete." Okay, well, in another 10 years, are you still gonna be worried about that same task, paper, whatever? It's like and if that anxiety is carrying with you every 10 years, then that kinda goes into maybe you have to personal develop, whether it's with therapy or reflection or retreats or yourself, whatever, to realize, like, "Why do I feel this way?" In the podcast episode, I keep going back to like David Nunez was talking about raise because we talk about the heel first, lead second kind of thing. It's like, and I also saw a quote that talked about heal so that you can realize that, um, but is all these things like attention is not love and all this. And I know we're going into the holiday, so Valentine's Day is a little bit on the brink, but it's this thing of in general relationships. When you heal yourself, you find life starts becoming a lot, you know, I'm not gonna say easier, but less dramatic, less overbearing. So, we're still going into the new year things. I know people are like, "Oh, it's February now. It's way past the new year." It's like, well, Chinese New Year starts, soon. And even then, I still go back to the matter of everyone that celebrates their birthdays or the New Year's. It's like, I'm not saying not to do it, but if we're going to be celebrating life, then shouldn't you be doing that every day you wake up? Or at the very least, any day that you wake up that you're not feeling the monkey on your back of depression or addiction or this or that. And then diving into that a bit, I've come across so many people where they are so quick to drink or smoke or many other things for, let's be honest with what it really is. And it's an escape. As much as we may say, "Oh," because like, when you start looking at what you're doing in life, ask the reason behind, "Why do I do this?" Yeah, and it's these hard questions, but that's the basis and foundation of personal development, is asking yourself, having the conversation with yourself of, "Why are you doing these things?" Yeah, there's a lot of people, a lot of different speakers you'll hear that talk about, consider that when your life begins, you are given a single person to take care of for your entire life. That person is yourself. No one. But yes, mom and dad and grandpa and grandma and all these will take care of you for for childhood and adolescence until a certain point. And maybe they'll still baby you as you get older. But at some point, they will no longer be around. And it will be up to you to take care of yourself. And sure, you can find the spouse or the kids to take care of you. But at the end of the day, when no one else is around, you are still there, and it is your responsibility to take care of yourself. So instead of trying to depend on someone else to take care of you, why not start being the independent and taking care of yourself through personal development? And this is not to say, "Oh, well, I'm independent. I don't need anybody else." No, no, no. We're a social being. We need relationships. Part of taking care of oneself is having social interactions, which is why I think COVID affected us so strongly, because we didn't get to have that. But it is this thing of, there's a balance. Have social interactions, but don't become so dependent upon them that it is faltering to your health if you don't get a text back from someone. But then don't become so independent where as soon as somebody says, "Hey, how you doing?" You're like, "I don't talk to people." Like, no, no, there's a middle ground. And it's through healing and self-development that we find that middle ground to realize, like, who is it we want to have our environment full of? And if you have your environment full of people that are toxic, then you start to become a bit toxic. So cut them off fully, partially, it's there's a video I just saw that said, men will often stay in a toxic relationship because they don't listen to their single friends. Yet women will often leave a good relationship because they listen to their single friends. So it's just like, well, that's a bit of a double standard. It's like, so it's, if you're watching this and you're thinking, so should I listen to my single friends or not? Well, apparently, if you're the guy, yes. If you're the girl, no. Honestly, I go back to the thing that talks about, when there's a relationship between two people, the only people that need to make that make sense is those two people. We're coming across Valentine's, and we're in this world where everybody's always making all these requirements. Men are even talking about how they're tired of relationships because they feel like they're just constantly judged. And so for the men watching this, yes, I'm talking to you. Great. You feel constantly judged. You feel constantly graded. Like, oh, my woman says that if I don't make six figures, then I'm not worthy to be with her. Or if I don't have six pack abs or this and that, that I have to have a 6 year plan or 60-year plan. And so it's feeling like, how do you fit all like, why can't you just be you, right? Again, going into, there's a balance. Be you, but also, yes, have some ambition. Because if it was the other way around, guys, we want women that have some type of ambition, right? You wouldn't want just to have a woman who just stays laying home all day watching TV, doing nothing other than, spending the money that you earn from your job. Right? That's the whole thing of partnership that you guys build with each other. I was just listening to a podcast that talked about like the four stages of love. And forgive me that I don't remember the I believe the author's name is like Matthew Hussey, something like that. And but he's mentioned on like the first level is there's an attraction. You see a person and you're attracted to them. Okay. Level two is there's mutual attraction. So level one basically is the cute girl or cute guy that you see at the coffee shop. Level two is when they see you as cute as well. And then you find there's interests that you share. But level three, he said level two is the most dangerous because you're just attracted and you don't know where things are going. Level three is where you build together. This is where we fail often to get to. And this isn't just intimate relationships. This is just people relationships. When you're connected with a person, like, "Oh, you're cool. I'm cool. You think I'm cool. Great. We get along." Okay, well, what are we building together? I'm hanging out with all my friends just because, "Oh, well, we've known each other since high school, we go way back." That's great. And that's awesome that you've had that long lasting, relationship with somebody. But are you still in high school? Well, no. It's like, okay, well, do you still act like you're in high school when you're with them? When you were around someone, and this was something that I think it was no, somebody that Jay Shetty was interviewing on his podcast. Um, but he said what they had said that when um with somebody, ask the question not to them, but of yourself of how do I feel when I'm around this person? How it's like, right, a lot of people, you might have experienced this, where I don't like who I am when I'm around you, or I love who I am when I'm around you, or I don't like who I'm becoming by being with them. Do they bring out the worst in you or they bring out the best in you? Your closest circle of friends, your, as we call ambit, your circle of influence, your sphere of influence should be people who bring out the best in you, not the worst in you. And that's why I like working in the company that I work in because it is a community and a culture of people that bring out the best in me. They want to see the best in me. They want to see the best for me. They want to see me grow as a person, as a leader, as just really grow, period. Those are people you want to have around you. Who are those that want to see you grow? Not those who wanna see you stay at the same level you were in high school because 'cause they're like, "No, no, 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 if you get too big, then that makes me look bad because, since we both went to the same high school and you got rich and famous and I'm still broke and whatever, then that means you're better than me." It's like, based on what standards or metric other than the one in your own mind? What your friends do does not, if they accomplish more than you, it doesn't say less about you. It just says less in your own head about you. It's like your own voice of self-doubt speaks louder because of it, but it doesn't make you look less. If anything, it gives you that much more potential to go up. So, it's the all ships rise and fall in the tide. Well, wouldn't you wanna be at a tide that everybody's rising together rather than, just moving around the pond or whatever in circles? And that's what we get stuck in, right? We orbit each other. And so whether you're thinking it being, ships in the night, passing in the night type of thing, or you're thinking it being some type of um, country square dancing, whatever, it's this thing though. Is like we all attr- uh, have a circle of influence, and we all have a gravitational pull. And if you're constantly pulling in people who have this toxic energy, well, then what's that say about you? Maybe self development can help you not have it. If you have the positive and you attract positive, and it is crazy that your mind, and now segueing into another thing, your mind was never designed for you to have success. But your brain's thoughts does not think about you having success nor failure. It thinks about how are we going to survive today? That's why, right when your eyes are hurting from looking at the TV too long, you start getting a headache. What's that? Why? Because your brain is telling you, "You're doing this too long, here's pain." But what do? "I'll just pop in a leave or Tylenol or whatever, and I'm good." It's like, no, it's like, or when you wake up and you're like, "Oh, I'm tired, I need my coffee." It's like, no, that's your body telling you you need more sleep. You ignore it because you just shoved down the coffee. Your leg hurts, your back hurts, your chest is stressed. That's your body's way of telling you you're not doing something right. But we just ignore all that. Just put down another beer, another coffee, or another pill, and we'll be good. We push through it. And you wonder why we die at 60, 70 years old. I was like, listen to the signs that our body is saying. And if you're feeling unfulfilled in life, that you're waking up and like, just don't know what to do with my life. It sucks. It's like, wake up. Maybe, our bodies. Remember, our brain doesn't have the words to talk to the rest of our body. But when you really listen to your body, to your mind, you can kind of notice unspoken, you know, signals and messages to let you know, hey, maybe change this. Maybe do something different. And I believe that if you find yourself stressed and start changing things that might be stressing you, like the people that you surround yourself with or the way you think things are, that you'll go from being in survival mode to in thrival mode because the brain was designed on let's survive. Let's, if we're that's the fight, flight, or fright um, tactics of things. When something scares you, you will freeze, you will work up the adrenaline to fight it, or you will run. One of the three things. And in the relationships, we see this plenty of times. And and from the other side of things, we're thinking like, "Oh, that person doesn't like me or this or that or whatever. They hurt me." It's like maybe they were just scared and they ran away, because they weren't willing to do the fighting to be with you. Who knows? That's for them to figure out on their personal development. For you to figure out on your personal development comes down to, do you want to fight in your life? Do you want to run away from your life? Or are you just going to stand there stuck like a deer in the headlights going, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. Move. You're stuck in life. You feel stuck and you're not going to get unstuck until you put in action something to get you out of the inaction. Right? As I know, they always say it's like just put a space in between in and action, and all of a sudden you go from inaction to being in action. It was always a weird way of how they use those words in English. But the point being is back to physics and Newton's laws, and they talk about a force will stay at an object will remain at rest until acted upon by an outside force. Well, sometimes the outside force has to be a little bit of your own self, right? Like if you see your life is stuck, maybe this video or any other posts I put out there might be that outside force that whacks you in the head and goes, "Oh, I need to move." Let's get unstuck. Let's make 2026 a year of everybody getting unstuck, getting the world unstuck and woken up to realize, hey, life is still here. Did we have 5 years of crap? Yes. But guess what? We're still here. You think COVID was bad? Like go talk to any of your grandparents or great grandparents who might still be around from World War II or any of the other crazy wars, but World War II was the last one that, like, the whole world stopped and it sucked and everything. It's like it just drains the life out of things. Or look in the history books about the Great Depression. Like, they survived, they're still here, or they were still here, and they made us, and we're still here. Like, life goes on. That's why I don't really worry too much about a lot of the things that goes on in the news because it's like, I've been here a while. We've seen a lot of those things. It's like it's always the end of the world. It's always something. But are you gonna let the bad freeze you for your entire life, or have you running away your entire life because you're scared? It's a human emotion. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Because keep in mind that in our brains, the part that controls fear reacts faster than the part that controls logic. And this is of all ages. Obviously, after the age of 25, supposedly, there's more logic to be able to be reasoned. But well, most of you are between that 25 and 34 range, so you're still just trying to figure that out. It's like, great, I got the tool to think more logically and reasonably. How do I use it? Well, we don't know because so many people don't know how to teach that. That's why start studying neuroscience and neuroplasticity and realizing that the brain will repeat whatever you tell it to do. If you ever watched the movie Click with Adam Sandler, there's a part where now it just automatically fast forwards through things, and it's like, why is it skipping past all these things? It's because you already programmed it to fast forward. Like he gets in a fight with his wife, he clicks fast forward, and he's like, I skipped the whole fight. This is awesome. It's like, yeah, but then the remote. learn since he does it a couple more times, the remote that's controlling his life realizes, "Oh, just skip every fight." It's like, yeah, well, some of those fights can last longer than just an hour or 2. Some of those fights are things that are the long ones throughout, like, a year. Point being is life goes by real fast if you're always trying to just skip past the bad parts. But it is also a thing of programming. If you've programmed your mind to think, "When I see that person, I feel anxious," or, "When I see that person, I feel like, oh." When someone's calling you and you see the phone and you're like, "That's toxic." That's somebody that we're not saying to completely cut them out of your life, but that tells you that's energy draining. You're gonna have people in your circle that's gonna drain you. That's just part of life. But the secret is, or the key is, to have more people in your life that fill you up than that drain you out, right? It's like there's the 2 types of people in the world, right? There's people who, light up a room when they walk in, as people that light up a room when they walk out. And it's like, fill your life with more of the first than the second, and you'll find yourself realizing, like, "Man, life is awesome." But if you're also playing victim mentality in your own mind that you're the person that when you walk out, the room lights up, well, like, you can if you're the person when you walk out the room, the it lights up, then you could have 20 people around you that light up the room when they walk in, but you're still gonna be feeling down because you're the one bringing the darkness, right? It's like the person who has, like, the cloud above their head and it's always raining, it's always sorrow, it's like, "Oh, this life." It's like, well, you can change from being that if you want it. No one can change you. No one can change me. No one can change anyone except self. Self development. I can change myself. You can change yourself. And everyone you know can change themselves, but only if they choose to. And most of the time, when people change, it is only because of the fact that they have felt so much pain from who they currently are. They're like, I'm tired of being this way. Right. Like, you notice, like, when person is overweight, like, oh, they're fine with it. Ah, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? I've been this my whole life, whatever. Then all of a sudden, though, like, something happens to, like, they're tired of it, or it's a health issue that wakes them up. Like, listen, if you don't start, like, the doctor tells them, if you don't start losing weight, you're gonna die. Die? What? What? No, I'm losing weight tomorrow. Sense of urgency. Anyone with ADHD understands. It's not that we like chaos and short of time. It's just we just need the sense of urgency. Everyone needs sense of urgency. So let this be your sense of urgency to know you got 4 years before Elon Musk takes over the world with robots and AI and possibly takes away your job. I know 4 years sounds like, wow, that's a long ways away. 4 years away is about the same amount of time as your high school took. Some of us maybe took a little longer, maybe a little less, but usually, give or take, it's always 4 years. So basically, if you got a kid going into high school right now, you have until they get out of high school to walk into a world that is all these robots and AI, according to the current projections of things. I don't say it to scare you. I say it to put that sense of urgency and let you know, hey, we got to get together now. We got to build together now. And that goes back to that relationships you have. What are you building together? A better life or a plot of land that's just empty? Taken into another thing, a lot of people want the salary of the CEO for the job effort of the intern. Or probably, well, I don't know, the interns tend to work pretty hard sometimes, but you get the point. You can't get top level income for entry level work. That's it's undeserving. And it's like you want the gold for the effort of not even the bronze. Do you think that's fair? Honestly, I think about it if it was somebody else. Because sure, you're saying, "Oh, I'd love to get." It's like, no, 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 but think about it if somebody else. If you're whatever job you're working at, your boss hires someone else, hires some 16, 17-year-old kid and starts paying him double what you make. How'd you feel? It's like, dude, he just started. You don't know exactly. That's why it's the unfairness. It's like when people go like, "Oh, well, when they pay me more, I'll work harder." Relationships going, it's like, "Oh, well, when she shows me more love, then I'll give her more love." It's like the reason why a lot of relationships are stuck is because it's this. everybody's waiting on who makes the first move. When gives me more respect, I'll give her more love. She's over there telling her friends, when he gives me more love, I'll show him more respect. It's like, well, now that's that rock and when an unmovable object meets unstoppable force, right? It's like neither you gonna move. So who's gonna be the first to you know lay on their sword or some whatever? So many metaphors and analogies here, but it comes down to somebody has to take the first step in any relationship, whether it is romantic, platonic, or professional. You can't just be like, well, when my boss pays me more, then I'll show up on time at work. It's like, yeah, and the boss is over there telling, all the other corporate execs, well, if he shows up late one more time, we're firing him. And so now you show up to work the next day and you're fired because you showed up late, thinking like, he should have paid me more, and I would have showed up. I'm like, this is an endless cycle and it's a catch 22. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? It doesn't matter. You need both for the other, right? And it's like, why can't we live in harmony and work together to build together so that way we can actually have something? Imagine laying around with all these building materials, right? Whether you're an architect, an engineer, or whatever. And everyone's going, well, when you start, I'll start. And this just goes on around in a circle. It really reminds me of like high school dances, or rather elementary school dances. A bunch of fifth graders standing on either side, boys on one side, girls on the other side. Now that nobody wants to make the first step. Well, guess what? Since you're seeing this, it's up to you to take that first step, because you already took the first step by, watching this and listening to this and realizing now you have that ability and responsibility, because those who have the ability have the responsibility. If you can, then you should. Or, it's like, it's this thing of, I remember working one place one time, and there was a shelving unit and the bottom shelf was like cracked or whatever, and there was an extra shelf. So I was taking all the shelves off to put the new shelf on. And somebody else comes up to me and says, like, well, why are you doing that? I'm like, because it needs to be done and no one was doing it. Now, don't manipulate this. Don't like, oh, when you see something broken, be like, oh, I'll wait around to see who does it, who fixes it. Or if you broke something. Like, life is all about choices and accountability, with the hope that you make more good choices than bad choices. But regardless of whatever one it is, that you are accountable for the choices that you made. Don't go, oh, well, if my job paid me better back before, I would be making enough money now to have a good home and family, whatever. Or well, if that teacher wasn't so hard on me, then I would have gotten a better grade. We can play victims all day long. But at the end of the day, it is your responsibility to take care of yourself and your life to make it achieve what it is that you define as success, which is why we will be talking about on platforms all the time of what does success look like for you? What does it mean to you? Because everyone has a different definition of success. One person may think it means having a fancy car and fancy house. Other person might just, feel it means having two kids and a roof over their head. I don't know what it is for you. And I could tell you what it is for me, but it doesn't really matter because that's my version, not yours. My story is not your story. So it comes down to you on deciding, what does success look like for you? Look around your life currently. Is that success to you? Are you on track to success? This is why men and women alike want for their partner to have ambition. So that way they go after success. It doesn't even matter if it's the same matching story of it, right? It's one of the key things of love talked about with Jay Shetty in his 8 Rules of Love book is when you want to help someone to reach their potential, not for you, but for them, right? Like, what are their dreams and goals? That is a sign of love. When you want to see somebody, I mean, we see this with our kids, right? Like, even if your kid doesn't love what you love, you still love them because and you want to see them achieve what they want to achieve. If we're doing it right, right, your kid can come up to you and say, I want to be a doctor. And you're over there thinking, like, doctors or whatever it is. They say they want to be something in their big dream, and it's whether it's something you love or don't. Usually you see this in sports, right? Like, where you don't care about sports and your kid says, I want to be a baseball player. I want to be an MLB. It's like, you're going to be at every baseball game and take them to practice and all this and that. Why? Because you love them. And so when you have someone that is, my favorite line of this was in Tim Allen's sitcom Last Man Standing, Where his wife tells him, it's like, "Well, why'd you do it for me? You already said that I'm not your friend." And it's like, it's like, "I wouldn't do it for my friend, but I do it for my wife." That is true partnership and love. That you support the person regardless of whether you like something that they're doing or not because you care that much about them. So if you're leaving relationships with things and realizing, think about whoever, whether you're leaving or talking to, of whether platonic or romantic, it's like, does that person encourage me to go after my dreams? Do they want more from me? Do they want me to grow? Or are they just sucking the energy out of me just because they're the leech or whatever? And it's like, that's how you build your success. That's how you build your sphere of influence, by surrounding yourself with people who want more for you, not because of any other reason than they just love you enough to see you grow. That's why I'm so glad to. You'll see in soon times that I have no doubt I will be speaking on stage with a friend of mine who, the last conversation we had, she was saying, it's like, well, how else can I support you? How else can I support you? It's like, she wasn't asking anything in return. It's like, that's just how we are, that we're looking at, like, well, how can we support each other? It's, I think of how can I support her? She thinks of how can she support me? And that is a beautiful friendship that we get to be able to be that way. Now imagine having multiple friends like that. Imagine having coworkers like that. Imagine having a spousal partner like that. Now how's life starting to sound like? Starting to sound a lot more beautiful, huh? You can have that life if you make the choices to select who you have around you to be people who do support you. However, here's a little key factor. Don't be the selfish one where you're like, "Oh, I want everyone to support me, but I ain't supporting any of y'all." Like, come on now. Life's balance and give and take. You know, give a little, get a little, right? It's that I'm trying to think. There's some song about it that goes over that, but it's just that balance back and forth. That's how we rise as a country, as a community, as a world, as a culture, whatever level you want, as a species, whatever level you want to put it on. As it's like, work in harmony, not in, I mean, founding fathers said it best. United we stand, divided we fall.